There was a tabi'i. His name was Ubayd ibn Umayr, rahimahullah. Ubayd bin Umayr, a very pious personality. Ubayd bin Umayr, rahimahullah ta'ala, was so pious that the great Sahabi, Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, the son of Umar radiyallahu anhu, very eminent Sahabi. He would make sure that he attends the majlis of Ubayd bin Umayr. And he used to say, Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma, that when I sit in the majlis of Ubayd bin Umayr, my heart is affected very much. And people used to see tears rolling on the cheeks and the beard of Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma while sitting in the majlis of Ubayd bin Umayr. During his time, there was a very beautiful lady in Makkah Mukarramah. Very beautiful lady. Not so religious, but beautiful lady. And she was a victim of self-conceit. I'm very beautiful. There is no one like me. There is no one beautiful like me. So one day she was standing in front of the mirror and she was admiring her own beauty. And she said to the husband that, what do you think? Is there anybody in this world whom I cannot put into fitna by using my beauty? Do you think there is somebody in this world who will see my beauty and who will not fall for me? So the husband said, yes, I know one person. He said, who? He said, Ubayd bin Umayr. You will not be able to put him in fitna. You will not be able to lure him to do wrong with you. So she said, if you give me permission, then I will prove it to you that I can. Obviously, she did not have the intention to go as far as adultery, but at least I can prove it that yes, he was prepared to go as far as adultery. So the husband said, okay, you can try. So one day she bumped into Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala in the Haram Sharif. And she was in her niqab. And she said to Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala that I want to ask you a very important question. Can you please give me some time? So Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala said, ask, what is your question? He said, it's private, very private. So can you just come into the corner of the Haram Sharif? Somewhere where people cannot hear us. So Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala went with her. And as soon as they both found themselves in a corner of Al-Masjid al-Haram, she removed the veil. She lifted the veil. And Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala did not know. So when she removed the veil, he saw her beauty. And he immediately lowered his gaze. But his gaze fell on the beauty of this woman. And he, what are you doing? So she said, I am in love with you. I have fallen in love with you. So please accept my request and fulfill your desire with me. I want to fulfill my desire with you. Now he was a very pious person. He was loyal to akhirat, not dunya. Full of taqwa. We are loyal to dunya, so what happens to us is that when the opportunity to sin arises, we fall in sin very quickly. But when the opportunity to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala arises, we find it very difficult. And when people become loyal to the akhirah, then when opportunity to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala arises, they fall very quickly. And when opportunity to sin arises, it is very difficult for them. Very difficult. So his gaze was away from the lady and he said, put your niqab back. But she insisted. And she said that please accept my proposal. I love you. I have love for you. I want you to fulfill my desire. I want to fulfill my desire with you. So Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala took this as an opportunity for good. And he said, I will ask you a few questions. And if you sincerely ponder over those questions and answer me correctly, then I will think about it. So she said, go ahead. She was very happy that he did not say no. He said, I will think about it. So he is prepared at least. She was happy that I'm going to seduce him. So Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala said, the first question is that if Malakul Maut was to come to extract your ruh, at that time, would you be happy to do what you are doing now? ponder over this question and answer me sincerely. So she pondered over the question. When you ponder over the question, then in the world of imagination, you go to that destination where your ruh is being extracted by Malakul Maut. So she was reminded of death. So she thought for a while and she said no. So Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala said, on the day of Qiyamah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you stand in His court, at that time would you have desired to do this? So she thought for a while and she said no. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reckon you on the day of Qiyamah and ask you questions, at that time would you have desired to do this? She said no. She thought and she said no. Ubayd bin Umayr rahimahullah ta'ala said, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decide to give you your book of deeds in your either right hand or left hand, and you are unaware whether it is going to go in the right hand or the left hand, at that time, would you have wished to do this? She said no. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you to cross the bridge of Sirat, and you do not know whether you will cross the Sirat with success or you will fall in the depth of Jahannam, at that time will you even think about doing this? She said no. And by that time she had completely mellowed. The fikr of the akhirah had overtaken her. And she was a completely different person now. And she quietly walked away from the scene. She went home. When she reached home, the husband saw that this is a different woman now. That woman who used to flirt around, that woman who used to enjoy every piece of her life, every part of her life, that woman who was always looking for enjoyment, she is a completely different woman. Completely different woman. And she returned with the fikr of the akhirat. She started performing salat. Other than her necessary duties all the time with tasbih, all the time with ibadat, salat on the musalla. Now the husband was not so religious as well. So he used to enjoy life with this woman who was loyal to him. Now she had become very religious. So that enjoyment that he used to have an experience with his wife was not there anymore. So he used to tell people that Ubayd bin Umayr has spoiled my wife and he has turned her into a nun. Ubayd bin Umayr has turned her into a rahiba. She has become a nun. Now she is always worshipping. What tool did Ubayd bin Umayr use to change this woman? Death and what happens after death. Don't brush the remembrance of death aside. Remember death. And inshallah, remembrance of death will make controlling the desire easy. And once controlling the desire becomes easy, then making preparation for the life hereafter will become easy. And inshallah, we will enter Jannatul Firdaus, saving ourselves from the fire of Jahannam.